quick interlude before this video technically starts. Upon looking at the Milani website to get some information for the video's description, I've actually discovered that there is just been released a very new shade called 00 Light Natural that runs rather pinkly undertoned. So here's hoping that if somebody was having issues before where it was too yellow or not quite light enough for their skin tone, that this foundation color is the new color that you are looking for that will run light enough for you. My point still stands about foundation mixes, but that's something we'll touch on momentarily. So on to the video. G'day and welcome everybody to our review of the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. I have kind of tested this before. If you follow me on Snapchat, you've seen me try this out. You saw the disastrous result. So you know I'm not looking forward to this. But basically, I wanted to review the product on more than just its color. Because if I'm completely honest, it's just slightly too yellow. So if I add like maybe a slightly pinker toned foundation or maybe some foundation mixer, I might be able to fix it to work. And I was planning on getting a foundation mixer anyway, just in case, because sometimes it's better to have a foundation that's slightly too dark for you, that's formula is bomb, and fix it with a mixer. So we are going to put it on our face and review it based on everything bar the color. It's also a good day to do this because, as you can see, I have dots and redness and there's a little weird scratch on my face. So it's actually a good day to test said foundation. So we're going to start by talking about its packaging. First of all, this doesn't look like a drugstore brand. This looks super nice and luxe. It's glass and it's got that black ombre and it actually looks super dope. And okay, cool, it's got directions on it. So let's start with those. As foundation, apply a dime-sized amount of product with fingertips or a brush, beginning at the center of the face and blending outward. Well, I'm not going to pretend I didn't read the instructions, but I know how to apply foundation. Just say it. As concealer, use a small amount and apply where additional coverage is needed in a tapping motion until blended. This is what the pump looks like, and yes, because I've used it before, it's got the product on it. So this is what the pump looks like. As you can see, it's actually super nice. It's molded to fit your hand and the pump is black, and when you pump the product, it actually comes out pretty good. And I'm gonna use like 1.5 pumps to cover my face. The product is kind of creamy. It barely moves. It does move a little bit, as you can see, but it mostly holds its shape. But as you can see, it's super yellow. So I have my mirror in front of me pointing towards my face, and I'm gonna put this all over my face. It's a crime against nature to wear something this non-matching, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So in America, I bought this at Walmart and I paid like $9.99 or something like that. This smells familiar, which is a weird thing to say about a foundation, but go figure. It smells like a lotion, maybe. That's what it is. I'm gonna pull it down my neck because I'm hoping to like hide the fact that it doesn't really sit well as a color on my skin by like spreading it down my neck a bit in the hopes that maybe that will help. Okay, so all of the product from the back of my hand is on my face. I'm now going to take my damp beauty blender, get my mirror nice and close, and blend the crap out of this. I can tell you from the formula that it is like super buildable. It's like a thick, creamy consistency. And I mean, like excluding the fact that it's yellow, look at that coverage. It's still yellow and it's already starting to oxidize a bit, so let's see how that goes. It's grabbing onto some dryness on my nose, if you can see. There is some dryness on my nose right here that it's grabbed onto. The coverage is okay, but I'm creasing already. Yeah, it's, well, actually now that it's oxidized, I'm not gonna lie, okay, I had really bad first impression of this product, but if I move back, it actually, like on camera, it still looks kind of yellow, but in real life it almost kind of just blended in, which is weirding me out. I'm just gonna move on with the next step, which is my concealer. So I'm gonna do my concealer, and I'm gonna powder my face and conceal my face really quickly, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. Put on the foundation. I concealed and I powdered with my Rimmel and a powder puff, and then went back over it with a brush to get anything that I couldn't pounce with a giant puff. And this is what it looks like. Now I'm gonna sit back. I'm not gonna lie, it's not as bad as I thought. Looking at it in a mirror and then looking at it on the camera does make it look more yellow. But like in real life, it kind of matches. That's the problem, okay? When I first tried it, I was just yellow. But here is a close-up of the product. And as you can see, it blended down into my neck pretty damn well. It's like a little cakey, not gonna lie. The nose is where I'm not the happiest, because it's hugged to like all of my dry patches, and I didn't prime my skin because I wanted to see how it acted on its own, because it's on the website, if I recall, it says it's oil free. This is with no primer. I may do a test later on down the line with primer, but I wanted to see how the foundation acted with my skin as it is. So I am gonna go and have my day. Basically, I'm gonna be at home all day. I'm going to check in periodically, like maybe every 2 hours or so. Right now it's 2:30 in the afternoon, so I will do a 5 p.m. check-in, and then I will do an 8 p.m. check-in. And at the 8 p.m. check-in, I will wrap up the video with my thoughts and all of that stuff. So I will see you then. Alright, it is 5 p.m. according to my clock. I apologize because the forklift decided that now is a good time to start doing its work. Right at 5 p.m. This is the state of my makeup. So far, I don't think I've lost any, but as you can see, there is like cakeage around my nose. It doesn't appear to be because of like the fact that I have no primer there or anything, or that I'm particularly oily or anything like that. I just think that's how it applied with no primer on, so I'm hoping that's what it is. This is the state of it. I don't appear to be creasing too much that I'm aware of. Oh, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I've got creasing on my forehead where I've like raised my eyebrows. I've got some like creasing here where my smile lines are. But again, I'm pretty sure that's more of a primer thing than a makeup. That's why I did it with no primer. I wanted to see how the foundation would act on its own. That is my 5 p.m. check-in. The color is weirding me out a bit. Okay, so this is my chest. It's a little like pink at the moment because of the sun. But as a general rule, the color actually matches. What I've read from reviews online before, and then my own personal experience with it, is that when it oxidizes, it doesn't turn orange. It kind of calms down a bit, apparently. It looks more orange on camera, and I think that's because I'm filming in like a vibrant setting. But the color seems to match. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, because once you add like concealer and stuff and powder and whatnot, it's not nearly as intense as it is when you first put it on, because I mean, you saw. Now I am looking forward to doing like a couple of looks with it maybe. My hair was annoying, so I took it out. But yeah, I'll check back in with you in another 3 hours at 8 p.m, which is when I'm gonna take it off. As for like the consistency, it doesn't really feel like I'm wearing anything. Like, it's quite a thick, creamy formula, but once it's on and it's in, like, my skin doesn't feel like there's makeup on it. That's the update on my makeup, and I will see you in a few hours. Alrighty, so it's now a little after 8. I was actually eating dinner when I hit 8 o'clock mark. Time to talk about the foundation. Looking at the screen, I apologize. A little oily. I think in the middle of my T-zone. Yeah, a little oily. But let's scooch forward and get you a close-up. This is what we're working with. It's okay. It has pretty decent coverage. Like, if I really was desperate enough for fuller coverage, I would put on a second layer. But considering how bad it's caked at the moment, I mean, yes, without primer, but considering how bad it has been caking, like, around my nose is practically, well, we don't want to talk about it. The color, like, when you look at it, it doesn't look too bad on camera, but when you kind of like look at it in real life, you can tell it's kind of yellow. But here's the thing, other than the fact that I'm wearing the foundation, some concealer, and some powder, I didn't put anything else on. So I think that by the time I added some color to my face, it might look a bit different, because at the moment you can kind of just tell that I'm wearing nothing but foundation. Like, I didn't contour or anything like that, so I'm also looking like a bit flat. My overall review is, it's a decent product. If you can get your hands on it, I hope that it's your color. It definitely suits darker toned girls. I wouldn't consider myself pale or fair, because usually that's associated with pinker undertones, but I'm not exactly like tan. I am pretty much the lightest shade that Milani goes to. I got 01 creamy vanilla. Now, looking in the jar, nothing about that looks creamy or vanilla-y. It's kind of yellow. I would say if you're a darker, golden colored girl, this is definitely the product for you. It has it's actually got really good coverage. And as a concealer, I'm sure it works really, really well. I've seen a couple of different, I've seen like 4 or 5 videos on this outside of my like beauty favorites like Kathleen Lights and all that. I have seen a couple of different reviews of this, both men and women, and it definitely looks better on darker tones than it does on lighter tones, because this kind of stuff, Milani is black owned and it's kind of catered towards black girls a bit more, which I think is fantastic. As a white girl, I know that my shade is almost always out there. In Revlon, in Maybelline and stuff, I've had no problems finding my color. And all of these are white, okay? Like, if you are going to try out Milani and you're going to bitch and complain that they don't have your shade and you're a white girl, just fucking don't. Jackie Aina is a good example of pretty much how dark shades can go, and not a lot of people do darker. Like, there is shades darker than Beyonce, people. So Milani's definitely catered more for, you know, dark girls. If you're from like tanned Hollywood onwards, you're good. For Milani, you're really, really good. The consistency is really, really good. It's super creamy, it holds its shape, which is nearly unheard of. Most liquid foundations are exactly that, liquid. That one's not quite, this one's not quite moussey, but it holds itself like it's a mousse. The only other thing I would say is if you are an oily girl like me, or if you are dry, make sure that the primer that you're using is 100% like catered for your skin type. That would be literally my only recommendation, and that is just a smart thing to do anyway. If you can get your hands on the Milani, or you find it on sale, or if you are lucky and live in America where it's only $9, $10 tops, get it, because it's actually very, very good. Like it's cakey, but I didn't put primer on, but the coverage is good and the formula is really nice. And here's the other thing, right? This is considered medium to full coverage, and I am not afraid to be touching my face. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything. This is super lightweight. Like, I just do not understand it at all. I know that Milani is cruelty-free. I can't tell you if it's vegan. Milani's website has a vegan section at the moment, but last I checked it was like empty, said coming soon. But I don't know if that means that they are transitioning to vegan, or if they are vegan and they're just talking about it now. But I can't guarantee anything, and so I'm not going to. But this is a cruelty-free brand. Final recommendations, I'd give this an 8 out of 10. Good formula. Considering I'm not wearing any primer, it lasted pretty well considering it's been on for 6 hours. My mom's yelling at the cats. That is it for this review. 8 out of 10 would recommend. If you liked this video and you would like to see reviews on some of my other makeup, because boy do I have a lot of it, leave a like and let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. If there's a particular product you want me to review, either because you know I have it and have seen it in a haul video, or if you want me to try and buy it to review it to let you know what my experiences were with it. I don't tout myself as a makeup professional or even very good at makeup. I think I'm okay, but I want to teach people the things that I've learned by watching other people. Maybe I've adapted something to work better for me, and by sharing that with you, maybe you can adapt it to work for you. So leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed to join our little family. Share this with all your friends and family so that you can teach them the cool stuff too. Stay beautiful, because you guys know that you are inside and out, and I will see you guys in the next video. By the way, do you like my shirt? It's Hogwarts.